That's it. One thing that you guys would all spot is Oscar has given one of his blades to Violet
Oh shit.
to practice with. So, she's in the background, like, learning the ways of a different blade.
How fast does she pick it up?
Roll me your insight.
Where's the buttons I'm looking for? Would instruction work for this? Just because
Different information.
different information. I'll go with that. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't. I die. Fuck,
For this,
I'll
I'd say you could.
Okay. Well, let me turn that back on because this feels more Morgan-y. That's a much better number.
Very quick. You're not exactly sure if this is the first time she's ever really held or used one, in fairness, but she's picking up very, very quick. And but another point, and it's to credit Oscar, like, he's not the worst instructor.
True.
He's very blunt, but the language he uses with Violet does connect, both of them being relatively terse people.
Right.
It's like that one scene in Komi-san where she goes to the ramen shop owner that never talks, and then she never talks, and then they just look at each other and know what they want.
Yep.
Like that.
Also, just to say Violet is quick as a whip when it comes to learning and picking things up would probably be an understatement.
She definitely has a certain self-awareness, not in like a social sense, but in like a knowing where, I guess that's part of her knowledge, knowing every single muscle group and knowing exactly what their function is and how to manipulate them. That's like a very deep level of self-awareness that you would need, like, dancers often have, right? Like, if you ever seen a dancer pop and lock, they get fucking really, really precise with it. So, something like that. So, definitely helps. Yeah, so that's what you guys get this morning. Or don't get this morning, depending on who you are. I think it'd probably be Voss. So he would, like, sort of, like, try to group you guys together. Are we sure we trust Iverson? And by extension, he throws a thumb in the direction of March. You know.
Iverson, there we go. I don't know if it's entirely trust at this point. More, we need allies for what we're trying to do. Okay.
So desperation is the name of the game.
Have any of us heard of the Shifter prior to this?
Been a bounty hunter for 20 years, so he might have some.
Yeah, but you guys aren't exactly in the circles where bounty hunters would be like a common facet topic. I think Alexander would be the most, but even then, I don't.
Slight overlap between.
Yeah, so I'd say Alexander rolling your background at disadvantage. Like, there's a chance. I just don't think it's like a high chance.
Well,
I mean,
he wouldn't have guidance.
21 is still fucking good, though. Oh, wait, no, 16.
No, it's disadvantage.
Yeah, it's advantage.
It's the stupid UI thing with Roll20. It shows them inverted for some reason. Yeah, like the darker one is the one you actually want. It's like, fucking why would you do this?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's me complaining.
16. I mean, you probably heard the term or the moniker the Shifter, but never really heard of like accolades that earned the title, major like bounties. You would know that he's a bounty hunter, obviously, but like what attributes to the man?
Yeah,
not really.
I only asked to see if I've heard of the moniker and would have heard that he is capable of shapeshifting.
Shapeshifting, no.
Mm-hmm.
Being a master of disguise, yes.
Ahaha, okay.
And that's the thing, right? If like, you don't exactly sell the information that you are actually able to morph your flesh underneath the magical disguise. You just lead with the magical disguise part.
So then, hands, on his belt buckle, Alexander kind of tosses his head back and forth before he says, "Well, if I hadn't heard about him before, I would say it was far too convenient that another shape changer who isn't the shape changer we're after was here in town. But the bounty hunter called the Shifter, assuming this is the Iverson here in our camp, he is a master of disguise, which if he's capable of changing his shape, changing his shape, well, that would make anyone a master of disguise. So perhaps it's not too convenient.
We are sent here on a divine mission, right? So gods work in mysterious ways.
They do.
Sort of divine intervention.
Yeah,
God.
Basso looks over at where the arbitrator is, who's just actually doffed his helmet and is just enjoying some tea right now.
Just having a great time.
Yeah. Amber does come up to you guys as you guys are huddled all together. Like a hand in front of her
Oh,
mouth.
the purple one's left.
Morning.
Morning.
She holds up like this wooden object of some sort. You guys know it's a fucking seal. Or a replica of it.
Hmm.
She has this like sleepy like smile on her face. I guess dopey is probably the better way of saying it. Got it.
Good work.
Nice.
Were you working on this all night?
No.
Do I need to insight check that?
I mean, you can roll your insight if you doubt her. Or you can arrive at your own conclusion.
I don't know if she spent the entire night on it, but it still is like she was definitely up all night regardless. I'm just gonna go with that.
So this is ready to get used anytime. Just give me some fake orders to write out. I can sign it, stamp it, and call it a day. Luckily, the mayor doesn't exactly write all that much for his orders. Probably his sausage fingers get stuck on themselves.
Ew.
We scrubbed the place, by the way. No mention of River Company in the whole office.
Really?
She nods.
So then where'd they learn it?
Shrugs. Maybe some word of mouth. Rumors. Informants. Who knows?
To be fair, March seemed to recognize the name when we mentioned it, so. Our
Oh,
faces have gone with the name as well.
I forgot.
Yeah.
you did.
Was it only... I think it was Morgan that failed the insight check, right? To determine that he was lying?
Fuck if I remember.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Did anyone else make it?
I think everyone else made it.
No. I'm
Okay, so he was just lying. I was just like completely bullshitting. Is that what it was?
What? No.
Oh my god! Please be straight with me. So I as Garth know what's going on.
You would think the tone would be indicative. Yes, he was lying.
Yes,
Jesus.
but everyone failed the insight.
Oh. Well, this fucking sucks to suck.
I
What is this?
guess reputation does precede us then. Though.
To recognize us on sight, though? Yeesh.
I mean, we were introducing ourselves in town as the River Company, so.
Were you guys?
We
We notably
I think so, in the
were.
pub?
oh,
fuck.
specifically
Nope.
we're not.
Yeah, we were trying to keep that information very quiet.
My brain is dog shit. Continue.
But at the same time, a bounty hunter would be more well-traveled than any of these pioneers. So,
There. So, what's our target for the day?
That's a good question.
yeah, I had 2 weeks to think about this. I think that I'd have an answer by now.
Well, here's one thing that's going to throw a wrench to your non-existent plans. The best time to ruin them when they haven't been built up yet.
Yes.
That's right. I destroyed your building, but we haven't built anything yet.
I have made it sand.
We put
Built
that.
upon nothing.
That's a bit sad. You didn't do anything. Whoosh. Anyway,
Small penor.
so you guys are like pondering, like, what should we do today? And like, Vasa just like looks past your guys' shoulders. I'm assuming you guys are all like half circled facing him. 6 o'clock, and he points with his chin behind you guys, and you guys follow the crimson chin pointing and see Delvin approaching.
Hey.
Morning.
Morning, son.
Morning. Morning. I have a bit of a request if you guys can make it happen.
Shoot.
What is it?
This might be hard to do. I mean, if it's impossible, then it is what it is. I'm trying to get my hands on or get access to a lab, a workshop, an artificers.
What for?
I look at Anushka. It's like we have met someone who's adjacent, but he is in the town. Oh
I
wait, no,
don't
he's
know
more
if
out.
He's not. He's not an artificer though.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know if
not. That's the
quite
closest bet I
what
got,
he
though.
needs. Is it that?
Eh.
Miley ask. I had a weird dream last night. Oh, that's a good start.
I thought as much.
And can all of you please roll me an intelligence saving throw, please?
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful.
An
All
intelligence
right.
saving throw? What the?
I only have a +1. Oh no.
Same.
It'll be fine.
I don't think I have a plus.
Let's go.
Oh.
Okay. Not oh no! I can't even save that.
Silas
I
goes brain
can't even
dead.
get fucking. I mean, like I could give myself a
I'm Morgan.
D8.
Silas is paranoid. They're gonna die right now.
Yeah.
Investigations
Okay.
are not their thing.
Imagine passing that
Okay.
intelligence saving throw. Could be able to fucking Alexander.
See, let me double check
What more?
the facts
Uh,
here.
Good
Probably
job.
should have done this
Alexander.
prior.
If this is goddamn
That's a decent-
hallucination,
that's
and
a
I just brought up a
decent-
dealer
What?
crest which gives us
No,
advantage
that's-
on that, I'd
that
be
would be-
so fucking pissed.
That would be interesting. What's interesting?
Be interesting.
You're a silly,
Silly
You're a silly bit. Thank you.
Is this eavesdroppable? This conversation?
Yes. This game. Okay, that actually does lend well for March in specific. So you all suffer at the beginning of this lovely day. 16 psychic damage, except Alexander, who takes half.
Oh,
But
Oh,
I
that's-
also
that's
take
a
half
temp
because I
HP.
have resistance.
Oh, good then.
Yeah.
I'm at
You should call the Sophus brothers more. Anyways, so you guys take 16 psychic damage. You guys take 16 psychic damage unless you take half of it for one reason or another, and you guys are greeted with a vision.
Oh boy.
take 13.
Sometimes.
I changed the music so much today. Let's see.
Sophus Brothers, why do you never call anymore?
We don't talk anymore.
They don't call, brother. They never call.
They were too good for you, brother. Or you were too good for them, brother.
You were too good for them, brother. Yes, brother. You as well. You can console each other in denial.
Oh my god.
This is not the one I'm looking for. Where is there really not like? Wait, is it this one? There it is. Been a while since I heard this.
Oh.
Well,
You guys, in your fun vision to wake up to, well, not wake up to, but begin your morning out with, are transponded to a realm of, I guess it is darkness technically, where you guys give off your own dim illumination, and same for the rest of your company, with, I think, the singular exception of Halfren and Iverson. Yeah, those two exceptions. You guys all sport your own different colors. You know, small variations in your light, few and far between, I'm sure. Or rather, frequent across all of you is probably the more right one. And there's this weird feeling about you. When you move your arms, when you see other people move their arms, you get this sensation at the outskirts of your mind. Almost as if you were the one moving it, or at least gaining the sensation of having moved it. Like an involuntary muscle response. Like a guided effort. to Alessander at the only successful person. Oh, one other thing that the rest of you do get. Alessander and March are the same color. Let that be known. They're the exact same color. To Alessander at a 19, you look at your boy, Adele. And you begin in a manner similar to when you got that lunar vision from Celine. You begin getting your vision pulled towards his mind, literally his brain region, whereupon you see that thing he gained from his aspiring path, that gyroscopic gland, almost like the mixture of a ticking clock and a beating heart in this great sync that they're in. I, as Crash, know how it operates. It is a concept. It is a facet of science that is not fully explored even now. In fact, I would say it's fledgling. The people of the world where that is from, that gyroscopic gland is from, don't know how the science behind it works, but they know what it does to make it work. In the same way someone knows how to use a gun by pulling the trigger, they don't know the mechanical engineering behind how a gun works. You get some insight onto how that thing ticks, semi-literally. I will surmise it rather simply. It exists beyond this world. Not in the sense of it's from another dimension, his aspiring world. No. It is inversive to you and everything you hold dear. That gland in there is in a constant, perpetual form of decay. And in its decay, it gives off an immense amount of energy. That right there is literal antimatter. Constantly reacting to the world of matter of existence around you. Is there anything you could feasibly do with this information? No, we can't even do it right now. No. But the Ash Wardens do have their own techniques, and that is something Delvit had a dream of last night. What does that dream entail, however? I don't know. We might do a one-shot about it.
Hey!
Ooh.
It's one shot about it.
So, you guys are pulled out of the vision. And let it be known, yes, it is my ideal goal that Delvit does make a literal antimatter rifle.
Yes.
Okay,
Just delete
yeah.
a motherfucker.
Which will involve his class change. But to put the reward in front, as opposed to post, he will not change classes until he gets his hands on a workshop. After that, he will be a new class. He will be an artificer.
Nice.
Mhm.
And as you guys come out of the vision world, you guys look at one another with this new sense of connection in a sort of like semi-uncomfortable way, right? Like TMI, like sort of level of like, I know a bit too much about you and I don't even know what that is now. I don't even know what I know about you, but it's there. And it seems that everyone in the camp, with the exceptions of Hafren and Iverson, actually, wait, no, Hafren would have to be included in it. I take it back. Hafren is now included in it. Go her.
Huh?
You'll see. You guys all like sort of stir from this occurrence and look at one another. Like, no one's like hurt by it, or I guess you guys are the ones hurt by it. But
Actually.
you guys are the ones literally hurt by it. But like, you know, nothing crazy has happened. It's not like someone gained like a third arm or something. But I don't know. It's this sort of, how to say, a strong relationship goes through some down points, some hurtful words said but recovered from. That's what makes the bond stronger. Something like that. After getting viscerally intimate knowledge of one another across the board, your bond is now stronger. Which is a fancy way of me saying, you guys are the ones running them in combat. Your characters know it too.
Oh.
You guys have a semi-tactical link established. It was one that was simulated across you guys before by Slayer Captain Amaya, but now it's one that is a bit weaker, but more innate.
That's
In due
so
time,
cool.
In due time, I will have the sheets kicked out to you guys.
It's canon that we're controlling them though.
It is.
I love that.
Vaso just like holds his hand to his head. I will say, those of you that felt technically are elucidated, but you're elucidated for like one round because there's no nightmares within visual
Right. It doesn't perpetuate.
It doesn't do anything. It's just like, oh no, I'm afraid of a dragon.
Fuck.
There's no dragons for 500 miles. So, anyways, you guys are technically elucidated, but to no real value.
I remember the struggle of the elucidation.
I
remember the war.
Good times.
What does that do again? I don't think I've elucidated yet.
So elucidations occur basically if you guys are witness to a nightmare. Actually, here, let me just open up one of the denizens.
The break of reality.
Thank you.
Oh god, they're back!
It's basically an advanced frighten. You suffer a disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while within line of sight, and you have to break your line of sight in order to end the effect. While it's active, you're suffering psychic damage at the start of your turn.
Okay. So at the end of this quote-unquote round, we don't take that at the start of the next turn, right?
Correct.
Right. So
So, yeah.
So we got a bigger spike, but we don't get the constant.
I think Alessander, once we're all back and recovered, I think Alessander will just kind of step in front of Delvid. Hands on his shoulders, kind of like looking into his eyes. Before semi-cheekily he says, "Some dream."
It was a sudden and dramatic one, but it gave me some valuable insights on. And he reaches behind him and fishes out the gyroscopic gland in its like constant flux.
Mm-hmm. This thing's why you need a lab.
He nods. I think I know. I think I have a general idea of how to incorporate it into. He gestures at the backpack, the kit he has on his back, which technically powers his rifle at current. It's like it's a really big, like bulky backpack with a lot of crystalline materials in for him to store magical energy. And you being the person that helped teach him how to do such crafts, it doesn't take a roll to realize, okay, if that's the battery, what if we just strap the reactor, which is this gyroscopic gland, to it instead?
Then Alessander, slowly nodding, says, "Then we ought to get you a workshop."
Where the fuck are we going to find an artificer's workshop out here in the boonies?
At
Well,
this
in
point, my
fairness,
mate
if you
is
get a
just to make one.
fort, you know, we might have a lot of room. Bingo.
We do have a whole castle.
On the way,
Theoretically.
potentially.
One thing at a time first. Got a claim to keep before we start using what it has to offer.
And that's why I want to tackle it sooner rather than later. If this can help, He's been shaking his head. What we're about to face off against, I mean, don't get me wrong, we fight a lot of perilous things all the time, but I can't help but worry.
How
Hmm?
Do
How long
the
do you
bounty
think-
hunters have, do the bounty hunters have some kind of workshop in their tower? Or outpost, rather?
Potentially.
Potentially.
Probably have to talk to him about it.
Yeah, you guys haven't exactly got the walk of the place. I mean, you guys can ask March or Iverson. They definitely know.
And what were you saying, Kirsty?
how long would it take to make this gestures generally there contraption? Because I don't think we've got that long until the harvest moon.
I
2 days
don't-
and 1 night.
I
Right.
can't say for certain, but it depends on how well the workshop is. But I have the blueprints in my mind. Alexander, you know he doesn't mean that exactly in a creative sense. It might mean a literal sense.
I did exactly this much space.
So here's the way I would describe it. A number of us played Dishonored or know of it. Piero, the guy that makes your mask in the first game, has that same sort of energy. He quote unquote designed the mask, but only after the outsider visited him at night.
Yes.
Right, so he technically did design it, but also it was influenced design.
Right.
Like it was imparted, blessed upon him. That's sort of like Delvit, right? It is his design. It was just kickstarted by an otherworldly force.
Right.
What's that? There's like a. What's it? You can like remember things like picture perfect. What's that called?
Photographic memory?
That's it. It's like photographic memory on acid. Is like the vibe I'm getting from that.
Not exactly, because it's not like Delvin has actually seen it in action.
Yeah. But it's like
You know who has seen something similar in action? Morgan, you have an idea. If he needs an artificer's workshop, you have an idea of what his design tech tree, so to speak, might look like.
Okay.
So sort of ruminating about where would we find an artificer's workshop in a town like this? I think because I thought, oh, would the bounty hunters have it? Alexander, I almost said Alistair again. Alexander thinks that, and he turns to call to Iverson. While he gets out his before he turns and sees that
March is right there.
Is standing there watching the group, a sword in hand, so kind of press the tip pressed into the ground, hand on the pommel. Do the bounty hunters have a workshop in their
Oh yeah.
outpost?
This one out here is definitely not the best, but it definitely is very well equipped for. Okay, let me put it like this: it has to be better equipped than say like ones you would see in like a major city. Because in a major city, there's a lot of artificer workshops that you can just go to and rent out the space, buy materials, stuff like that. Out here, they need to buff it up because there's no other option for hundreds of miles. Right? So they have to buff it up because it's the only one that bounty hunters can go to.
Then I don't think it's too out of the question for March to already know what Alexander's going to ask Iverson. So
No, it's not.
March just interrupts him basically and says, "If it's a workshop you need, you will find one in the outpost. It's better than one you might find in a city, at least among the bounty hunters. But I think for the purposes of your world, it might get the job done." Right. And looking at Delvit, do you want to try a hand at that?
If we can get access to it, yeah. And there's a problem.
Access. It's in the city.
Right.
Town.
I mean, I can sneak in just fine, same for Liz and, Isadora, but she looks Delvin up and down. Maybe. Maybe not.
Probably send him a good disguise, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know, he's rather distinctive. She, walks up and, leans forward, getting, barely broaching his personal space as he leans back a bit. And Delvin is rather distinctive looking, given the...
Given the,
Yeah.
The sunglasses are very distinctive.
Keck. Greater sight specs. Incorporate that into the suit.
I mean, you could probably make the gray hair go with the black. But
I mean...
Mountain.
There are some natural dyes I can maybe try and get from the. Well, take a while to make. Actually, never mind.
Can Iverson shift other people?
Oh,
that'd be interesting.
possibly.
Slowly
You'll
pan
have to
over
be
to
sure
March.
you all done it.
Yeah, I think March kind of motions towards waves at Iverson, snaps his fingers twice, and brings him over like Garçon.
Oh god.
He comes up and slaps your hand. What?
The young gentleman there with the grey hair, he wants to get into the outpost, use our facilities, the workshop.
He nods.
They're banned from town.
He nods.
I don't think that extends to you or I. That said, I don't want to be seen in town just yet.
If that extends to me, this is bullshit.
If it extends to you, you can just become someone else.
He wags his finger. Yeah, but it's a principle.
Guilty
So,
pleasures.
what, you want to try to smuggle him in or something?
Pretty much.
Do you think you can do it?
He shakes his head. I can't. My magic doesn't work on other people. None of the spells I know, at least. He does not have the seeming spell.
Yeah.
Which is, funnily enough, one of the only ways you can disguise other people with magic, because all the other ones only affect you.
Well, luckily I have a ring of spell storing and happen to know disguise self.
Ah,
Oh!
taken with rings.
There we go. Because I was just reading my spell there as well. I've got. I was like, can I use this on him? No.
That's nice. We'll get to casting it onto the ring. Into the ring, rather. And then hand it over.
You guys are having this conversation at this point across the camp because Marsha and Iverson are not with you guys in your initial huddle. Blair does come up. Is it wise to be sending him in alone, though, given the thing that hunts us?
I didn't think he was going alone.
Who's going with him, then?
That's a good question.
If possible, if Amber and Liz are able to go in relatively unnoticed, that might be good. If you're willing, of course, two of you.
Well, what else do we have planned for the day?
Nothing so far. We're figuring that out.
Let's crunch through that and see what. So, out again.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, out again. Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Since only a limited subsect of you can actually get into town without causing a ruckus, like that really cuts down on how many people can enter town for any activity. Unless you want to because I don't think the ring of spell storing. Well, I guess not the point of the ring of spell storing. Do you want to drop like a dozen disguised selves into the ring and pass it around like a joint for everyone to begin making their way in? Also, a big point of a dozen people suddenly enter town. But yeah, so that's my